Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Good morning. Right now at 5, the brutal heat wave continues, and across the state, residents and businesses are being warned to conserve energy or have it conserved for them. How long the flex alert is expected to be in place and when this heat could let up still ahead.
Plus, we have the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County. Public Health is out with new numbers, starting to paint a picture of where we might be heading.
And with the Kern County Fair already canceled for 2020, the board will meet again to try and figure out other ways to bring the Fairway experience to the community. This is Monday, August 17th, 2020.
Good morning. It's 5 a.m. Good to have you with us on this Monday. I'm Maddie Jansen, along with Nicole Gitsky, who's filling in this morning for Alex Fisher. And we begin with this brutal heat wave and an urgent alert for the entire state of California. A statewide flex alert's in effect today and will last through Wednesday as that heat wave continues. This follows an outage where as many as 13,000 Bakersfield homes and businesses were without power Friday night after PG&E says it was directed to cut power by the California Independent System Operator. Starting today, ISO is calling for voluntary electricity conservation every day from 3 to 10 p.m. through Wednesday. In a tweet, California ISO said that consumers should plan for potential outages during those hours. To help lower the energy demand, California ISO is asking people to get their thermostats to 78 degrees, turn off unnecessary lights, unplug unused electrical devices, and use fans when possible. For more information on flex alerts and emergency conservation tips, head to kget.com and click on the hot link icon to visit California ISO's website. And another surprise to add to that bag, the humidity and those thunderstorms over the weekend, Kev.
Yeah, it was a very busy weekend as we did see the heat and some isolated thunderstorms. Yesterday's high was 107. We're going to be under this heat again today, and we're also going to be looking at the slight risk of some thunderstorms around the Kern County area. Take a look at the satellite and radar right now. Nothing on radar, but we still have some of those clouds drifting in from the east. So Tehachapi has some clouds right now and out near Mojave and California City. Currently, Bakersfield sits at 85 degrees. Our dew point is up at 58 with a 40% humidity and no winds right now. And then as we take a look at our watches and warnings, the excessive heat warning is now in place until Thursday. It was Wednesday until 9 p.m., and that includes the desert region as well. Here's a look at the dog walk forecast. And again, it's going to be hot out there. Probably best to make sure your pup has plenty of shade and water and maybe skip that walk as we go throughout the afternoon because temperatures are going to be right near 107, 108 once again. But we are still talking about clear the shelters at the City Animal Care Center. And my featured pet of the day is Izzy, and Izzy has the right idea. If you're wondering what Izzy is doing right here, she's laying on a pool float, floating on the pool. That's the dog's life, I tell you. 66 in Tehachapi right now, 54 on the dew point, humidity at 64%, the southeast wind at 6 miles per hour. Hour by hour here, you can see a mix of sun and clouds. I am putting a slight chance of a thunderstorm in all areas of Kern County today, and temperatures will rise into the mid-90s. I'll have much more on this coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And new overnight, Bakersfield police say a man was shot and killed in central Bakersfield just before midnight this morning. Officers responded to the 200 block of Ice Street where they found a 28-year-old man dead in front of a home. Officers say they're not sure what led up to the shooting, and there were no witnesses. If you have any information, call police at 327-7111. And Bakersfield police are also searching for a shooter after a man was killed in North Bakersfield. This happened around 8 o'clock Saturday evening at Q and 40th Streets. Officers found a man with major injuries. He was taken to the hospital but later died. The coroner's office will release his identity at a later time. But in the meantime, police described the shooter as a man in his 30s. If you have any information, call BPD.
Police are investigating a multi-vehicle crash that killed 2 people and injured 4 others near the Grapevine yesterday. According to California Highway Patrol, they responded to a crash on northbound I-5 just north of State Route 166 around 3 Sunday afternoon. CHP says the Ford F-150 was traveling south on the I-5 when the driver swerved to avoid debris on the road. The driver lost control and veered across the median onto northbound I-5. The F-150 collided with a Honda SUV heading northbound. That crash caused the Honda to overturn off the roadway, ending up in an orchard. The F-150 continued sideswiping a big rig. The Honda was carrying 5 people, 2 who died at the scene and 3 others were taken to the hospital for medical attention. 1 person suffered major injuries. CHP says the driver of the F-150 sustained minor injuries. According to CHP, they do not believe drugs or alcohol were factors in this crash. And Bakersfield police are looking for a car that hit and killed a pedestrian Friday. According to BPD, the pedestrian was walking in traffic lanes outside of the crosswalk around 10:15 on Friday night in the 800 block of Union Avenue. The pedestrian was taken to a nearby hospital with major injuries and later died. BPD says the car fled from the scene. Officers do not have a description of the suspected vehicle. Bakersfield police say it is unknown if drugs or alcohol played a role in the crash. According to BPD, this is the 24th traffic fatality in Bakersfield since January 1st. If you have any information on this case, call BPD.
Making news around the state, the California Department of Public Health has released more in-depth data on coronavirus in our state. As of yesterday, California had over 621,000 positive cases. The number has climbed over 7,000 since Saturday. Nearly 10 million tests have been conducted. Over 11,000 Californians have lost their lives since the pandemic started. Currently, 38 counties have had to close all indoor operations since the order back in July. And now let's take a look at the latest numbers of coronavirus cases here in Kern County. 304 new cases were announced Sunday morning. More than 26,000 have tested positive for the virus so far here in Kern. Nearly 18,000 cases are considered active right now. That's people who are still sick or contagious. Most of those patients are recovering at home. 248 people are being treated in local hospitals. No new deaths were reported over the weekend. The death toll stands at 204. And we'll get an update this morning around 10 a.m. Be sure to download the KGET app for alerts on the latest local numbers.
Like we said, there are over 200 people hospitalized with COVID-19 in our local hospitals. For people who have already survived COVID-19, there's a way to help. You can donate your plasma to help other people recover faster. Houchin Community Blood Bank says more than 280 people have donated, but according to Kern Public Health, more than 8,000 people have recovered from the virus. The blood bank is still offering survivors a $50 gift card to simply donate. That deal was going to end on Saturday, but it's been so popular, Houchin says it's extending that offer yet again. For more information on how you can donate, call 616-2575 or visit their website at hcbb.com. And a reminder, if you've recently tested positive for coronavirus, local health officials are asking for your help to self-report your case. This will help the health department get a jump on notifying anyone who may have been exposed to the virus. The health department says there's often a delay in getting confirmed cases reported to the department from the state. If you've recently been diagnosed with the virus, just head to our website, kget.com, and click on the hot link icon to find and fill out that form.
Firefighters continue to battle the lake fire just to our south. It's burned nearly 18,000 acres now. More than 1,500 fire personnel are braving the extreme heat, poor air quality, and low humidity as they work to contain the blaze. It's 12% contained. They have not made any progress since Friday when it was 12% contained. The blaze has destroyed at least 6 other structures and damaged 3 others. Officials say the fire is burning in areas that are inaccessible, making it harder to contain. Authorities have established evacuation sites for people whose homes are in the path of the fire. The cause remains under investigation. And firefighters in Northern California continue to battle the so-called Loyalton fire. It's burning on the Nevada border. The blaze burning north of Lake Tahoe and east of Reno is now estimated at 30,000 acres with no containment. This video was captured by Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue. It shows firefighters providing protection as vehicles narrowly escape the spreading inferno on Highway 395 near Chilkoot. There are mandatory evacuation orders in place for at least 3 counties there. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Meantime, though, take a look at this. Another firenado caught on camera. This one touched down Saturday near the Nevada border as part of the Loyalton wildfire. The fire-NATO warning came in the afternoon. Residents in the area were told to take cover. In the end, no injuries were reported. 17 News is your local election headquarters. We are 77 days away from the election, and the Democratic National Convention starts tonight. This morning, we have a rundown of what to expect, plus the latest from Washington on how changes at the U.S. Postal Service could affect your vote. NBC's Tracy Potts reports.
The Democratic National Convention starts tonight online, featuring former First Lady Michelle Obama.
And our broad message is there is room for everyone at the Democratic Party table.
Also tonight, Senator Bernie Sanders. He says he'll focus on the plight of American families.
You're seeing people who cannot pay their bills, who have no health insurance. What we are looking at is an absolute horror show.
On Wednesday, Senator Kamala Harris accepts the vice presidential nomination.
This is going to be a knockdown dragout, and we're ready.
Our new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows Joe Biden with a 9-point lead over President Trump. In Washington, Congress is back this weekend, moving up a hearing to question Postmaster General Louis DeJoy amid claims that the president is trying to slow down the mail ahead of November's election.
We heard from one individual that said the processing machines that can do 80,000 or more sorts, they were actually told to stop after 40,000, not to process all of the mail.
The White House says that's wrong.
There's no sorting machines that are going offline between now and the election. That's something that my Democrat friends are trying to do to stoke fear out there. That's not happening.
46 states and the District of Columbia have been told mail-in votes may not arrive in time to be counted. And another interesting tidbit from our NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, Senator Kamala Harris has a higher net personal rating than either Joe Biden or President Trump. In fact, she's the only candidate in that poll with a net positive rating. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calls for the House to return from recess to address the U.S. Postal Service crisis. On Sunday, Speaker Pelosi said in a letter to lawmakers that there will be a vote later this week on the Delivering for America Act. The act prohibits the Postal Service from implementing any changes to operations or level of service it had in place at the start of the year. The House could reportedly be back in session as early as Saturday. In the letter, Pelosi also called for a day of action tomorrow, asking lawmakers to appear at post offices in their districts for a press event.
It is mid-August, and by one count, more than a third of all four-year colleges and universities are reopening their campuses for some form of in-person learning, with very specific rules around wearing masks and keeping social distancing. Now, near the University of North Georgia, this is how students celebrated the first weekend back, a different packed party in Stillwater, Oklahoma, as officials at Oklahoma State University revealed 23 COVID cases at an off-campus sorority house. Reminder, while schools can put rules in place, they cannot force students to comply. Meantime, in letters to the Big Ten commissioner, some parents are demanding answers after the conference canceled football. And a petition from Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields to restart the season has already topped 100,000 signatures. But the NCAA's chief medical officer says the key to saving the season is better testing. A CNBC survey found nearly 40% of test results nationwide come back too late to be effective in stopping the spread. Meantime, in what could be a game changer for testing, the FDA authorized a new saliva test for COVID-19. On top of being easier to administer the test, it's supposed to be inexpensive with quick results in just under a few hours. Yale University developed the test and has given the information to other universities and labs around the country with the hopes they'll start using it soon.